here we go. It's week 1 NFL, and we have Pete Prisco's Power Rankings, baby. The Kansas City Chiefs, the defending champs, on top, the team they just squeaked by in the Super Bowl, number 2. The Buffalo Bills, number 3, followed by the Bengals. So 3 of the top 4 in the AFC, and Pete's Jacksonville Jaguars, 6th, just ahead of Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. Pete Prisco is here, along with Brady Quinn.
What is this? What is this? Why are you going like this?
You're here, man.
I know, but
it's Pete Prisco's Power Rankings.
You're getting ready to pick them to shreds.
No, it's always a fun conversation.
It's all right.
It's always fun.
I do have a bone to pick with you because I read your article at CBSSports.com, and the first paragraph says that the team that you rank 6th is actually going to beat all those other AFC teams ahead of them and win the AFC, the Jacksonville Jaguars. So how do you have the Chiefs number 1?
Well, here's why. They're going to win the division and have the best record in the AFC.
So home field's going to be the difference?
That's going to be the difference.
That Jacksonville environment you're talking about, the one with the hot tub where people hang out and watch the games?
You have no idea how good that environment against the Chargers was as good as it's ever been.
When can they actually play a home game?
Huh?
Their home field's being constructed, right?
No, it's not. You're getting ahead of yourself a little bit.
Well, this would be a big change. What is it, 5 straight years? The Chiefs have hosted the AFC Championship game.
But the Chiefs have a tough schedule.
Yeah.
They have the Chargers in their division, which is tough. Are the Broncos going to be any better with Sean Payton? Probably. And the Raiders, who knows? But their schedule's brutal. Jacksonville plays 6 games in their own division, 4 against rookie quarterbacks. Bryce Young, rookie quarterback. Desmond Ridder, kind of a rookie quarterback. Baker Mayfield, who knows? Quarterback competition with Kyle Trask. And then you go and you look at whatever Derek Carr does, and we know if it's a big game, he'll curl up. So there you go. The schedule's favorable.
So and it was interesting that you pointed this out, because you're pointing out the Jacksonville schedule, the ease of the schedule, the fact that they're going to skate to this number 1 overall seed. What I find interesting is history would not back up what you're claiming, though. The last 3 years since we've gone to 7 teams per conference. In fact, there's only been 1 instance where we've had only 1 team make it. There's usually multiple teams from the toughest divisions that end up making it into the playoffs. In fact, there was 3 last year from the NFC East. So it actually, the theory that you're making here that, well, they have the easiest division, so they should get number 1 overall seed, that actually in reality has not played out the last 3 years.
If they win 13 games, they're going to have the number 1 seed.
Sure, you can make up whatever you want. I'm just trying to explain to you, as we look into the season and as we say, hey, this team actually is playing in the toughest division, they're not going to be able to make it through the playoffs to the Super Bowl. That was your rationale. I'm just telling you,
that's not the
that
rationale.
hasn't been what's happened.
The rationale is that they're not going to have the number 1 seed, and Jacksonville will have the number 1 seed, which means all they have to do is win 2 home games to get to the Super Bowl.
That hasn't always mattered.
No, but it's still. Would you rather not have the bye and not have the number 1 seed?
Of course, you'd rather have the number 1 seed, but one thing you'd rather have too is Patrick Mahomes as quarterback. Which, if he's the best player in the league, which he
is,
okay. Why wouldn't you always say that that's then the team that you're looking at the Super Bowl? Because what you used to do is you used to say, well, they got Aaron Rodgers, so Green Bay is going to be in there for the NFC.
I didn't put the Jets
in there, which is interesting. We'll get to that.
No, I did not. By the way, here's the thing. Jacksonville plays Kansas City week 2. It's going to be 120 degrees, and Kansas City's not going to be used to that. They're going to win that game. That's going to be the deciding
Trust
factor.
me, I've been in training camp in there in Kansas City. It gets hot, okay?
Not like Jacksonville. There's nothing. Jacksonville's like hell sometimes. That's how hot it is.
That's why you moved away. Let's move to the team right behind Jacksonville in Pete's Power Rankings, the New York Jets. You've kind of been, I don't know, telling everybody to pump the brakes on the Jets most of this offseason. It seems like you're a little bit higher on them, putting them this high in your rankings at number 7.
I just don't think they're winning the division. I think Buffalo is going to win the division. And look, Brady became the Jets fans' most hated guy last year at some point.
Yeah, Brady had him starting 0-9.
That's right.
That's not true.
So maybe I'll take
maybe
over
it was
that now.
hated, but the reality was I told Jets fans you had a problem at quarterback. You addressed it this offseason. Now I'm on the bandwagon.
And now they have a problem on the offensive line, which is a major problem. And that's going to be a concern all year long. Look, they're going to be good on the defensive front. They're great up there, in fact.
They're a good defense in general.
Yeah. Well, the linebackers are okay. The secondary back end, the safeties
You're a guy that's
okay.
never been a big fan of needing linebackers anymore.
No, the front's going to be outstanding.
There you go.
Don't get me, and Robert Saleh will turn them loose. I don't have any problem with their defense. I just worry about the offensive line. And plus, there's a lot of young players on that team. They don't know how to win those kind of games yet. You got to learn how to do it. They haven't learned how to do it yet.
You always say this, and yet again, it goes back to Rodgers had young players that he was playing with too, and you'd still picked them to make it to the Super Bowl. You're not in this instance. I find it kind of interesting. Look, I don't know that they get to the Super Bowl this year. They're not my Super Bowl
Are they winning
pick.
the division?
I think they are, yeah.
Okay,
if it was up to me right now, with where the odds are sitting, I would bet on the New York Jets to win the division. I'm sorry, I just
would not. I would take Buffalo. I think people are sleeping on the Bills.
I definitely more than last season. I think at this time last year you had the Bills as your Super Bowl champion. A lot of people sleeping on Buffalo because Josh Allen was turning it over. Let's move on to, and we showed the top 10. Let's go into the teens. And when was the last time you did a power rankings? It was a couple months ago.
After the draft.
Right after the draft. So one of the biggest movers, if not the biggest mover since then, the Washington Commanders, up 5 spots since your last power rankings to number 13. Why are you so high on them all of a sudden?
Their roster is talented across the board. There's no doubt about that. And I'm more bullish on Sam Howell than most. I think Sam Howell is going to be a good NFL quarterback. He's never going to be great, but he's going to be a good NFL quarterback. And by that I mean, he could throw.
Well, let's throw in some other names. Who else are good? Is Kirk Cousins a good NFL quarterback?
Yes.
Okay.
Is Dak Prescott a good NFL quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to be like that. That's what he's going to be.
Okay.
He's going to be in that group.
You've got Dallas ranked 10th. You've got Minnesota somewhere behind Washington.
Yeah.
And
Minnesota's not even in the top 20.
Yeah, I'm trying to put this all together.
You want every team in the top 15? You can't put them all in.
But I guess I'm asking you, what justifies what's happened since not in the draft, but really since last year, that would make you think that Washington's that much better, or they would be a top half of the league team?
Because I think the way their defense is going to play this year, Emmanuel Forbes has been outstanding in training camp. That really upgrades a secondary that needed it. They're going to be able to rush the passer better than they did a year ago. Chase Young's banged up, but he'll be back in there. And I think that's going to help. They've upgraded their offensive line. The weapons look great. They can run the ball.
Okay.
And I think Sam Howell's better than people give him credit for.
He's had an unbelievable training camp preseason. No one can take that away.
We kick off the season Thursday. Obviously, it's the game that we've been counting down to all season long. It's the Chiefs, the defending champs. It's the Lions, a team that so many people expect big things from. But, Pete, you've got the Packers ranked just ahead of the Lions. How's that?
Because I think the Packers are going to win the division. I think the Packers have defensively, they're loaded. When you look at their offensive line, if Bakhtiari is healthy, the group up front is really good. And I know the Lions are good on the offensive line as well. And I think Love is going to be better than he's getting credit for. And believe me, I'll sit here and say it. When he came out, I didn't think he was going to be a good quarterback. But I think when you look at what he's done and being able to sit and learn and watch, he's become a much better guy. He understands the offense. He understands the system. And Christian Watson's going to have a monster season for the Packers.
And he's had 3 years to develop. His footwork's gotten a lot better. I think that was something that was really inconsistent when he was coming out of Utah State, that you kind of looked at that and go, all right, there's something that needs to be changed here. I'm more concerned, can the Packers stop the run? That's one of the concerns that I don't necessarily have with the Lions. And they're going to want to try to control that game, run the football, but they can also air it out. So I'd still like to give the benefit of the doubt. I think the Lions are still a better team right now, at least as you look at it, until we see more of Jordan Love. I can understand why you like them, though. On paper, their roster's great. It's just their Achilles heel has always been the run game. And then how far really can their quarterback take them? Which, again, this year it'll be interesting to see if Jordan Love's ready to take over for Aaron Rodgers.
Wyatt and Quay Walker both will take the next step, and that's going to help the run defense.
Okay.
And speaking of the Minnesota Vikings, a team we didn't hit on, they are outside the top 20 barely at number 21.
I don't get it, dude. First off, Jordan Addison's going to be a great compliment to Justin Jefferson. Brian Flores is going to do a tremendous job, not only what they have talent-wise on defense, but he's a better scheme fit for them.
I agree.
I know about the close games. They could still win 10 games.
Somebody's just
11 games. When
they look at their schedule before the season, they're going to yell, hey, Kirk, they're all big games, and that's it. They're going to have problems with it.
You're back on the hating Kirk Cousins bandwagon.
He's in that group of guys that are solid quarterbacks and nothing more. That's
Vikings are on CBS to start things off Sunday against the Bucs. Our Amanda Guerra is going to be on the sideline for a CBS game, Titans at Saints. In the late window, we have Eagles, Pats, and Dolphins, Chargers. You could watch CBS Sports and the Paramount Plus app.